So I want you to, you've been in the industry again for some time, then you're now here in UB. What is it that you have seen in the industry that you think is missing or lacking?
It's a rewarding profession. You have to know exactly what is it that you want, or even if you joined it just for the sake of, okay, no, I want to be an architect, it sounds cool, anything. Don't tell me. It's a lot of work, sleepless nights. It can be really mentally exhausting. The industry, it's not even that kind also. You graduate here, you get a job after 10 years, depending on how the economy is.
You graduated, you got your degree. How was life after graduation?
The importance of a portfolio is done with, it depends on what sort of portfolio the sort of like building. You could have like one portfolio you intend to look for a job after graduating, or it could be purely an academic portfolio.
Hi, I'm your host, Sitile Gomez, and welcome back to another episode of ArchiChatter, a podcast where we talk architecture, design, is the chaos and beauty of studio life. Before we jump in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and most definitely hit the bell icon. In today's episode, I'm sitting down with a registered architectural technician. He first studied at Limkokwing University and graduated with an associate degree in architecture technology, and was exposed to the industry for quite some time before he decided to come and further his studies in the University of Botswana. So he's here to stay to share his journey in both the schools, to share his experience in the industry, and most importantly, highlight what we as students are taught in school versus what is required once you step into the professional world of architecture. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to let him introduce himself. So yeah.
Thank you for having me. My name is Jacob Ntshwene, and I'm a registered architectural technologist. First studied in Limkokwing University, and then I did a transition of coming to University of Botswana to further my studies here.
Thank you so much for coming, and I'm really looking forward to learning a lot from you.
Thank you.
So I want you to take us back to your years in Limkokwing. What were you studying, and what made you study that particular course, and why did you even go to Limkokwing in the first place?
Yes. So while Limko, there was a variety of schools here. We had the University of Botswana. There was also Limkokwing. So you apply here, you're waiting for admission. It's not coming in. You get an admission in Limko. That is where I started.
Okay.
And AT, Architecture Technology, that's a 3-year course. So it basically entails a lot of technical drawing, documentation, construction detailing, and reviews, understanding the building science, and those sort of stuff, with also a studio base also.
Okay, so the studio there, you know how studio is like in University of Botswana. There is a particular brief that you follow each and every semester. So does Limkokwing do the same thing? Or?
Yes, I don't know about now, but during my time, it is basically almost similar to what we are currently doing here. But as I understand, we're given a brief, and the brief would entail you're supposed to design for an artist or someone like that, but then we know at the end of it, we need to submit both a portfolio that is design detailed and also technically detailed with both bits. So there was a bit of a balance between the two. Even though here it's more in depth in terms of the design philosophy of what's happening here. It's quite different from what I learned in Limko. So those are the little bit of the nitty-gritties that I really picked ever since.
So what kind of projects were you guys doing, especially like from the first year project is not similar as the third year project in terms of the complexity of it?
Okay, so in terms of the complexities and everything, let me see. We start off with like a very minor scale project. We will be given maybe sort of like a system building within anywhere. We to detail it, and then on the studio part of it, you sort of like come up with a kiosk or something like that sort of like works hand in hand with what you are detailing. So, and then on the second year of it, now you are introduced to like a bit of more challenging projects like designing your libraries, those sort of things. And then I would say third year, since there was like a 3-year degree course. Third year, you're given an option of designing whether it be a station, a hospital, or a library, kindergarten, those sort of things.
So in terms of softwares, was there a particular software that you guys were doing, or you were just free to use anything?
In terms of softwares, I think I learned AutoCAD during my time there, and then I transitioned on my own into learning ArchiCAtter, all these other things. So we were mostly doing AutoCAD and other presentation softwares like Adobe, Photoshop, and all the Premiere Pros and all those. So it's, I would say it was a more balanced type of learning experience.
Okay, so do you guys have internships there?
Well, it's like this. There's architecture technology, there's interior design, associate degree in interior design. They both run for 3 years, and then there is a degree in interior architecture. That's one, it's like an honors degree, it's a 4-year course. So in terms of the internships, these two, AT and ID, we only do a 3 months internship towards your final year, while interior architecture, you have an opportunity of doing, I think it's internships on a 3rd year and 4th year. So it's almost like the 6 months internship. Sort of thing. So yes, we did internship, but towards the final year.
So now you graduated, you got your degree. How was life after graduation?
Life after graduation. So for me, I had the opportunity of still working for the company that I did my internship at. So I was there for another 6 months before moving on to another different company for like a year or 2. And then from there, I moved on to another company while also doing a bit of assistance within other companies before coming back to UB now. So I really never really struggled with looking for the job, even though at the time there was a bit hard. It just depends. Whatever that was there, as long as it paid at least good, I was there too.
I want you to talk about the importance of a portfolio once you're done with this work.
The importance of a portfolio is done with, it depends on what sort of portfolio you sort of like building. You could have like one portfolio you intend to look for the job after graduating, or it could be purely an academic portfolio. You still want to further your studies, or it could be sort of like a hybrid of both, to just show like an in-depth of your experience in both academics and the professional work lifestyle. So that's important in that sense that you need to know exactly what is it that you want to do. Maybe say after graduating, do I further my studies, and if I'm furthering my studies, this is the sort of like portfolio that I need to be in line with, and also my transcript that good enough to allow me to also continue with further my studies and those sort of things.
Okay, so on your portfolio, did you have all your projects from year 1 to year 3, or you just had a particular project that you...
Before coming into UB?
Yeah, the portfolio you used for applying for
to get a job?
Yeah.
No, that's... okay, so this is what we were always taught, and I always hear it, even here in UB. When doing a portfolio, looking for a job, you basically include at least put real life records.
Okay.
Show that you have a little bit of in-depth in knowing how to assemble like a proper detailed plan that is worthy of council submission, construction, and all these other things. And then you can even add your interest into many other to that portfolio. It could be photography, sketching, whatever it is that people are interested in. That on its own sort of like puts you in an advantage of being considered than somebody who has like a portfolio that is just that of detailed rather than sort of like a hybrid of this is what I have, because in essence I would assume that if you're going to look for a job, and it will depend on whichever firm or company that you end up in. Does that firm sort of like, what is the word? Does that firm honor or regularly sort of like do the graphic designs and all those things? I don't know if you paid attention to like a lot of other companies here. You would see that, okay, company A and B, they have like a graphic designer. You could tell by the way they really structure the online presence with its engaging community and all those things.
You're also talking about the online thing. I've heard architects are not allowed to advertise their work.
As I got the I don't know specifically what it is, but all I know is if you're registered, you are allowed to.
Is it? I've never seen you advertising anything.
No, I am registered, I'm not practicing, so there's a difference between the two.
What's the difference?
You are registered. We do recognize that you are a professional in the industry. If you have a practicing certificate, it means that you are eligible enough to do works within the industry here with no hassles of anything. But as for me, if I'm registered and I'm doing work, it's not purely my work. It's work that belongs to a registered person. I am merely just a system.
Okay, so there's a registration certificate, then there's a practicing certificate.
Between the two. And then on the, what was the question before the registration before we got there? I think, was it the online?
Architects are not allowed to advertise. But I've also heard it's something that ERC has put they're not allowed.
I don't know, maybe.
Because I've never seen anyone advertising. I've never.
No, I don't know. The people that are out there marketing their own things, maybe you mean advertising in the sense that there's a bachelor pair that I posted here, you get this for 300 and that one I know for sure is not allowed. But I'm allowed to share whatever it is that I do. It could be student work that's there online. It could be whatever random conceptual designs that I do from day to day. Things that I have worked on whichever company, with that permission, of course, because I can't just take someone's work and then just put it out there for everyone to see and then claim that, okay, this thing belongs to me or
Okay, so what kind of projects have you done after graduating?
After graduating, I've done a lot of residential projects. I had an opportunity of doing commercial projects. It could be being engaged in the designs of malls, refurbishments, all those sort of things. I've had an experience of dealing with a variety of all these things.
So now, another industry, like you, money there, why did you even come back to school? What was the reason?
The reason why I came back to furthermore studies, freedom of expression. You want to do things on your own and growth, I guess. You don't want to be tied down to just being a technician, earning a specific salary, opportunities, maybe working in government in the near future, earning a good salary. I'm not going to always be a kid earning whatever 9K or whatever fee that is.
Okay.
Not to say so that's those sort of things. You just want growth, freedom to also have individual things that you are able to do on your own, collaborating with other people in general. That's one of those things.
So how is your journey so far in UB compared to Limkokwing?
That's challenging. I don't want to lie. That's challenging. It's challenging in the sense that a lot here is theory based. You will find that in Limco we maybe tackle basic things here. If designer does my site analysis, would be looking at 1, 2, 3, and 4 specific informats, and then not looking at the general whole picture of why you need to be doing those researches to come up with your designs and all those sort of things. But as much as it's challenging, it's also rewarding. It's been one of the greatest experiences also being here.
But before I forget, how long did it take you for you to become a registered technician? Or maybe let's see, what is the process of now being registered?
Process of just if you are working towards your registration would be after graduating, you I expected to work under the supervision of someone who is registered and practicing, and those are architects. And I could. So with that, you work for 2 years. After 2 years of gaining, let's say, experience in dealing with small scale to large scale projects, it could be your residentials to designing malls, schools, or whatever complex project, and then learning about all these little things of how contractual matters are done in the industry and all those little things. Then, after your 2 years, you could apply to sit for the professional exam. You obviously get examined. They would look at your application, assess it thoroughly. If you do qualify to sit for the exam, you get a recommendation letter. Then,
what are the qualifications to sit for an exam?
Well, currently in Botswana, you wanna, let's say you wanna register to be an architect, you are expected to have studied a 5-year architecture degree that is directly studio based, and it deals with a whole lot of complex projects from small to all these. And then you are also expected to have done maybe minimum that's 2 years experience, professional work experience, to however years that it took you for you to decide that I need to sit for this exam. So if you are aiming for an architect's registration, those are the minimum requirements. A technician's registration would be also, you're expected to have done a 3 to 4 year course. These are mostly technology-based degrees. So with them, it's still the same as you have the minimum requirement, 2 years professional experience and a variety of projects. And you have to understand the contractual matters again, all those things, how you sort of like do your professional fees when quoting for a project, tendering, all those things, yada yada, legalities of it.
So did you get registered in 2 years? Because I've had people worry.
No.
Someone can take 6 years trying to be registered by the ARC.
It can take
what's the
6
challenge
years.
there?
The challenge would be, I will speak of my experience. I graduated and then worked for at least 3 to, I think 4 to 5 if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't necessarily looking to get registered immediately to my 2 years. I just gave myself an allowance of really learning the ins and outs of the industry and all these things. And then once I felt that I am ready to sit for an exam, I decided, I got my supervisors to sort of like sign off on my behalf with the portfolios that I submitted, the applications and everything. It's more like professionally vouching for someone, and then you sit for your exam. Either you pass or you try again next time. So that was that. I registered I think maybe 5 years or 4 years after graduating, if I'm not mistaken.
So what does it mean being registered by ARC? What are the responsibilities that come with the title?
The responsibilities of it, you will never see me willy-nilly doing unethical works out there. You are expected to uphold the rule of conduct. It's you're not even, honestly, yes, this one, it's not even, it's for everyone. You are expected to always thoroughly inform your clients of everything that you're doing. You are not expected to skyrocket your professional fees or whatever. That is if you're practicing and all those things, right? So count with the job for doing those things. And the assumptions would be, the ones that are not registered would be selling, I don't know, plans for 500s, all those things. And those are unethical things that shouldn't even be allowed. And what we really trying to.
So what are the consequences of not following those codes?
Well, the harsh one that you could get is imprisonment. You're out here, people are out there calling themselves architects and whatnot, and designing and constructing buildings that are not even done by registered and practicing people. And then next thing, they collapse with people and then you have killed people. So those are things that come with the profession. That at least you know what if you are consulting with someone who's crazy, you're sure you get value for your money and you get the assurance that this person really knows what he's doing. Unlike the other ones that are really registered and pressed about that. And it's also with the whole regulations and everything, because you have to understand those things. You can't just really build something. Item sort of like a heavy truck. Then you put a structure there, and then you expect people to be that level. So that's what comes with being registered and understanding the profession of it.
Okay, so I want to ask you something. How do you handle a client? Because clients sometimes can be difficult to handle, especially when it comes to money.
For me, I would say I haven't got to that stage, so I'm not yet handling clients in terms of this person is really being difficult with the payments and everything, whatnot. That's an issue of, from what I have seen, knowing how to negotiate your way through the certain things. Because at the end of the day, even if we are saying these are your professional fees and whatnot, if somebody is unable to meet those, they are welcome to consult with any other person or firm that can assist, or they are welcome to negotiations. So that's not to say what I'm young, if you come up with a project for maybe a better word at you just quoted at 3 million, you expect that, no, 3 million here.
I want you to talk about what you're taught in school versus what is required as you're in the professional world.
Versus what is required as, it's, okay.
Like the difference between school and the industry, let me just say that.
The difference between school and industry, I think for me, back in Limkokwing, we were really taught how to, properly detail and understand what is required for a certain project to pass certain regulations within those that are stipulated by, the city council or whichever council that oversees that area. And then that has always been there. So it has never been a struggle of it. And then school generally really helps you to think outside the box. That's not to say that, okay, even if we are required to abide by these regulations, you can't have a design that sort of like challenges some of the regulations here and everything. So it's a little bit of both. They go hand in hand. You can't call yourself an architect if you haven't been properly trained. You can't call yourself a technician if you haven't really properly been trained for that specific profession that you want to venture in.
Okay, so I want you to, you've been in the industry like for some time, then you're now here in UB. What is it that you have seen in the industry that you think is missing or lacking in terms of what is being taught to students? Maybe it's software or anything, could be anything.
Honestly, I wouldn't say, my personal capacity, I wouldn't say that there's a lot that is missing. The thing is, UB has a 5-year program that runs for me. So there's no how we can expect that somebody in year 1 could be able to do something that is ready made for council submissions or any of those things. We give them the grace of saying that, look, these are the basics of what's happening in this profession, academically, not professionally or anything. Don't even worry about those things. Learn the basics of those, develop them through these different studios and everything. But expectation would be that if you are in third year going towards your fifth and everything, you should be able to have an in-depth understanding of these are how things are sort of like done in the industry, and these are sort of like regulations that also drive things, but it shouldn't necessarily be that they have to go hand in hand. You have to understand that if it's academics, it needs to be really that enjoy yourself while you're still here, because out there in the professional world you might never get the chance to do all these free-form designs and everything.
Okay, so let's say I graduate from Limkokwing. What's my role as an architect once I get a job in a firm, and what is your role there? What I fail to understand, what role as an architect and a technician play in a firm? Because I want to survive.
To a certain degree, but there's a lot of difference between the two. Somebody who studied architecture is trained in a sense that they are able to manage different consultants within a project, whatever it could be, a health project. You know that when designing a hospital, whatever maternity wards, these amount of spaces and everything, all these other things, and then a technician would be able to say that, okay, the floors need to be sort of like this, and the room heights could be these things, all these things. It's a hand-in-hand type of thing, but a lot of decision makings around the whole design and everything, it's pure the architect's sort of like baby to take care of, and the instructions are followed by the technicians to sort of like bring in those ideas to life.
Okay, so I'm about to finish my fifth year. What should I expect in the industry?
Well, currently right now, it all depends. Do you want to go and work? Yeah, you definitely need to be working for someone who is registered and practicing to really get the best of both worlds. You don't want to sort of like fall short of ending up in a firm that it's not really compliant with our country's regulations and everything. So truly, that's the advice that I could give to someone, that look, if it's work that you want to do, the least you could do for yourself, because at the end of the day, you have been training for this long to be an architect. So why would you deny yourself an opportunity of working for one who is registered? Because at the end of the day, you are expected to sit for your professional exam. That's if you also want to continue doing things on your own as a registered and practicing professional. So you definitely need to be working for companies that are compliant with the regulations of the country and the council.
So what are your plans after graduating? Are you still going to further your studies, or
No, it depends. If there's an opportunity, yes, I might take it. But currently where I am, I think, I don't know what the future holds.
Yeah.
Maybe after graduating, I might just decide that I want to do something else different now, away from all this. It just depends.
Before I forget, once I get registered, the ARC, how long does it take me or when exactly am I allowed to open my own firm? When open a family?
Where am I opening?
Yeah.
No, it's a thing of do I have the capital to open a firm? Those things. It's a personal decision thing.
Okay. So once you're registered, you're just allowed to have a firm?
No, yeah, you can have a firm, but you need a practicing certificate.
Oh, yeah.
Registration means that we do recognize you. You have passed the professional exam. That is what where you are. You are a professional.
So practicing certificate, does it have an exam or?
No, you pass the exam, you get registered, then you apply for
practicing.
Okay. So there's still a difference between registration and practicing. Registration, yes, I can still am allowed to work for someone who is practicing. But as far as the legalities of everything that goes with it, I have no engagements in all these things. So it all lies with somebody who is practicing. So you see. But yes, you can open your own firm if you do have like a whole clientele, everything. Or you can even do things under your own name. Be a registered and practicing architect out there without a company. You're just solo doing your own thing. That's still allowed, but as long as that you are really compliant and you're not out here breaking any laws, then they don't have a problem with you.
Okay, just to wrap up, I want you to give a piece of advice to students in the Limkokwing University about architecture, technology, the industry, anything.
It's a rewarding profession. You have to know exactly what is it that you want, or even if you joined it just for the sake of, okay, no, I want to be an architect, it sounds cool, everything. Don't tell me. It's a lot of work, sleepless nights. It can be really mentally exhausting. The industry, it's not even that kind also. You graduate here, you get a job after 10 years, depending on how the economy is really. And it has so many opportunities for someone to branch into different things. You just have to really be here and say that within this whole shell of a profession, this is what I want to do. And sort of like be here and do work.
So going forward, what kind of topics should I cover, or what kind of guests should I have in my podcast?
I think it should be a variety of both lectures, industry people, and even students. Get students as far as year one, students in Limco, because currently you have a chance to be the voice that bridges all these little conundrums that are currently happening in Botswana. Somebody's out there doing 80, thinking about it's going to be an architect, which is not when they should be here and and they should be coming here to experience it for themselves. So it brings that bit of an advantage into giving somebody a platform of, okay, this is what we offer in the built environment. It can be architecture, or you could even go as far as planning, real estate, or quantity surveying, landscape architecture, or BISA, or whatever. So just try to find sort of like a circle around all these things. Then definitely be sure that you are about to grow into something that is very good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Maybe I'm going to help you after 2 years as a UB and hear what you have for us.
Yeah,
but thank you so much for
that
coming.
I am out there doing different things.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me.